rise one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio.
And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
He's my rose, my rose.
Well, hello. This is Charles McCutchen. I'm your favorite entrepreneur. How's everybody doing today? It's another week, y'all. Another week down. We have so much going on. I don't even know truly where to start. But what I'm going to do, for those who are just now coming here, I want to say welcome to Charles's Corner for one. This is all about, financial freedom, moving forward, and I look at everything that I do as putting it into a big mixing bowl, and you got to stir it up, and you get with the right people, make the right moves, take the right action, and then great things come from that. We do a lot of praying, but, we still have to take action even though we're out here praying. So today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump around for a few things that can help some people out on this journey, and this is going to be a little different from what I've done in the past. Because usually I take one topic, but some of these kind of overlap. So just work with me on where I take you, and we're just going to go on this journey. I'm going to talk about some credit, money, and I know a lot of people don't want to talk money. We scared for some reason. It's a taboo subject whenever we bring up money. You can, and I'll tell you how you do it. You do it on social media. Everybody will shut up real fast, and they'll go wait for the jokes and stuff like that. That's just where we are. So my ultimate goal is just to help people. One of the things I just saw in online, you can look it up. It was talking about Capital One as a bank and how they're doing their lending practices. And right now, if y'all look across the board, a lot of different companies and banks and lenders are changing how they lend money. That really causes a domino effect, whether you want to believe it or not, that they're going up to 700 credit score, 700 credit score, and you got to put 20% down. Now, that's pretty, that's pretty steep for a lot of people, because a lot of people are still trying to get, their credit scores up to speed. And so when you look at it from a standpoint, now there are so many different lenders out there, so don't get it, don't just use it as this is how it has to be. There's hundreds and hundreds of lenders out there, so you don't have to go to a bank. But just to put it in perspective, you get something out there for $100,000, because I was already putting 20% down, so you got to come up with $20,000. That's just the numbers. And so you $200,000, the same thing. That's a nice little chunk of change. So I think the best thing, what I'm telling people in my neck of the woods in the real estate arena is, first things first is we have to look at our credit, get that up to speed. Then look at the business credit, get that up to speed. Then the partnerships that we can do. I look at group economics. Group economics is huge and big at the same time, to where you don't have to put all the risk on you. And so that's something that a lot of people are not doing. They're just kind of, being an army of one, just going out there on their own, seeing, what's going to happen. And so when you look at credit, just some of the basics out there, and, a lot of people don't understand it because we don't really get into credit. We just kind of go through the motions, and I understand because I've done that before, and I don't use a lot of my personal credit now. I'm more of a business credit type of person, or a cash type of person, or a private money type of person, or other people's money type of person, understanding how to negotiate and things like that. So when you're looking at your credit, there's different criteria. Like when you don't pay a bill, that's big. that's big. You look at that debt history, they look at 35%, and like how much debt you have, that's 30% of how they view you as a person. So for me, I tell people, do business credit and credit at the same time, build it up to where you don't need to use your credit score. And that's just how I look at it. You know, that's just me. I read somewhere else, so you can look it up. It's collections. I looked at collections, and they have an organization called the National Association of State Public Interest. They did some research, and they found that 79% of credit reports contain an error, some kind of error. So that we always have to be looking at our credit reports. I just looked at mine. I know I had some old dates on there from where I used to live, like, wow, a long time ago that popped up. So now I already sent off some letters to the Bureau and saying, hey, can you get this deleted off? And I tell y'all that because a lot of people don't understand what they'll do, these companies, is they'll tie you to an old debt that is probably gone off your report. But since you have an old address up there, it's tied to an old debt, and then it pops back on your credit report. Now you're getting 20, 30%, 30 points lower. Let's say you were going for a house. Now you're 30 points lower. Now you got to send in a letter to make sure they get it off. And, you know, it's just a hassle, really. So I really don't like credit personally. I understand how to get it done, how to make, you know, people's credit score go up, blah, blah, blah. So just because I had a credit company back in the day, back before '08. So, you know, that's just – and then I read that 30% of credit reports contain accounts that's been closed. So if you close an account and it pops back up as active on your report, that hurts your report. But if you don't know it because you're not checking your credit, you know, most of us don't check it all the time. I used to be obsessed with it. Like literally I was checking it every day, probably 4 or 5 times a day because I was that into it I wanted to get it right. So that's what I would do. So you can actually, a lot of people, if you have collections on your report, you can actually make deals with these creditors out there. And I'm not giving any type of legal advice. That's not what I do. But I will say this, and this is what I've done. This is just me talking, not no expert in legal or credit. I don't believe I'm an expert in credit. I just know how to fix it and make the credit move. That's all I can tell you. So what I would do is I would personally get everything in writing. Like what they'll try to do is get you on the phone, and then they say that, you're being recorded, blah, blah, blah. Well, at that point, I like to say, I'm going to opt out of this, and can you send everything via correspondence? And so I want them to mail me whatever they're going to mail me. Then I look at it, and then I mail them something back because I want it to be documented, because if they ever take me to court or say something different than what they put in documentation, then I have something to cover myself with. So, and I'm going to tell you right now, they will lie to you. You can get on the phone and you say you have a deal out there and you got to pay $2,000, right? So out of that $2,000, you start negotiating with them and say, hey, I can't pay this whole $2,000, but what I could do, what if I can pay you 30% of the $2,000? I'll pay you $600. Will you delete it off my credit report? They'll say, yeah, but since you did it over the phone, if they don't do it once you pay the money, say, well, you said, be like, well, who said that? Janice? Well, Janice don't work here no more. Well, y'all said y'all was going to do it. Now you in a fight, and they have every right to not do it. They don't have to do it. I mean, you can't go to the court and say, well, they didn't delete it after they said, well, you owe it. So that's on you. So I don't like talking to them on the phone. Just, do correspondence. I bring up credit reports and credit because, and then I look at these banks that's offering these deals for whatever. Banks are making over $1 billion quarterly, and that's just like. And I've looked at the late fees; they're killing it in late fees. Like banks are killing the game, and that's just. But a lot of people won't go back and recoup those late fees. Shoot, I used to get on the phone and be like, hey, I see this late fee. I want to know, can you give me? And they'll be like, well, this is the first time, sir, so we'll go ahead and credit that back to you. I'm telling you, y'all better, a closed mouth don't get fed. You better say something online. And she was talking about buying a new car, and I don't care what people do with their money. That's on them. Don't really matter to me. It don't bother me. But, buying a car, a new car, a lot of people don't look at the reality of it all and saying, yeah, I got a great deal on this new car. But then you got to look at from the standpoint of your car is going to depreciate. Like the time you drive it off the lot, it starts going down in value. So you paid $14,000. Now the junk is worth $10,000. Now it's worth $8,000. So it goes down. So it's all numbers to me. And when I say that, I just give people the story of what I did. I don't remember the last time I had a car payment. I just don't. People say, what type of car you drive? One that's paid off. How about that? You like apples? Well, how you like them apples? One that's paid off. I'm about that life right there. I'm about not making any payments. How about that? I don't want a new car payment. I don't want a new car note. Been there, done that. I never got a new car before. I've gotten older generation, what have you, but I don't want a new car. It's nothing to me to get a new car. That's for everybody else. So, buying that car, you're literally going to be losing out on a lot of money. The other thing is leasing a car. Now, I used to think I was going to lease a car, but then, when you run the numbers, leasing a car is expensive. So if you don't know what you're doing, 9 times out of 10, you're going to overpay. So car dealers, they make less profit when you buy a car than if you were to lease it. What I mean by that, you buy a car, dealers can make over probably $1,300 because you leased a car. And then if you actually bought a car, they may make a little $150, $250, I don't know, depending on how many type of fees they try to add on to you. They do that transfer fee and they're not transferring nothing. That's how they get people. It's hilarious in how we get beat up. So for you folks that's buying these new cars, I would say just get in your car. Go to the bank first. Get a stack of ones maybe. Just get a stack of 100 ones. And when you drive down the street, just start throwing money out the window. No big deal. Because you're literally losing hundreds of dollars every month anyway because your car is depreciating. And, good luck. That's what I tell people. And then we're going to talk about these houses. I'm real estate, y'all. I'm real estate down through and through. And I see so much. What's going to happen in this industry is going to be amazing, and it's going to be bad at the same time. Amazing for people who are going to capitalize on the opportunity, getting houses at 30 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar, and then bad for those people who are going to foreclose and give their houses to the bank and have to give their houses up because they can't afford it due to everything that's happening. It's just 2008 back over again. That's all that's going to happen. So if you don't learn from it, you're doomed to repeat it. And I learned in 2008 what I need to do. I'm ready. I'm ready right now. And so it's going down, family. And let me give y'all this. So I know a lot of people, when we buy these houses, I see a lot of people waiting, trying to time the industry and get a house, for less than whatever and do a 30-year mortgage. And then some people say, no, do a 15, do a 30. Well, if I do a 30, I can just pay it off early. Majority of people will not pay it off early. It's not going to happen. And I'm going to say that because something's always going to come up. There's always something. Just like this corona, nobody thought this was going to come up. Now people are out of work, and now they have to dip into savings. And, a lot of small business owners are not even getting the funding that they need. You got funding going to these big corporations getting $10,000. They're supposed to be small businesses, but they're getting $10 million. Another one got $20 million. I'm not going to name names. You're going to look online. And some of them are starting to give it back because they feel bad because people knew that they had the money, and so they're giving it back. Even I got to put out this team, NBA, the Lakers received money. They're giving it back. I don't know why. I don't know. I think it was $4 million or so or more. I don't know, but they're actually giving the money back. But I think some of them are not going to be given back because we don't know all the companies that are receiving this money. So, that's why I think a lot of smaller business owners, like when you have an army of one and you're the only person, you're going to lose because a lot of businesses are going to be shutting down. It's going to happen. It's going to be a domino effect across the board. And I remember probably a week ago, I put out 16 million that filed for unemployment. And this Thursday, we'll find out what's the new number. We might be in the, 20 millions. I don't know. But it's just going to continue to go up, And now I know some cities are trying to open back up. And just me looking at past pandemics. They're going to open up too early, and there's going to be a second wave of corona that's going to be deadlier than the first. And if we don't have a vaccine in a sense, and they're testing vaccines, we don't have it for the first, and then the new one comes and it has a different strain. Now that's a whole other problem. And so it's everybody's trying to save the economy, but what about saving the people? Neither here nor there. It's coming, so just stand by. The other thing I'd want people to do is have an emergency fund. And I don't know what that means for you. Everybody say 3 months, 2 months, 1 month. You need at least a year. I don't know. Everybody looks at their own situation. Get a financial person that is doing better than you, and ask them to go over your financial situation so they can give you a better determination of what you should be saving in an emergency fund. I look at it from the standpoint of how long do you think it'll take you to get a job, for one, to start bringing in money, for two, do you have a side hustle, for three, what do you have on the table right now across the board financially, for four. So it's a lot of different factors I would throw out there before I tell somebody, no, just do 3 months. I don't know. Only you know. That's up to you. An emergency fund to me, I say you got to start where you are, family. Some people are going to say, you need at least 10,000. You need at least 50,000. Wherever you are, that's where you have to start. If you can't start with 200, that's it. 500, that's it. You can get to 1,000, great. That's on you. Start somewhere, but you have to start. I use, and I know people have mixed information on emergency funds and investing and debt and everything like that. And there's so many different ways to skin it, y'all. Y'all could do it however you want to do it. But I think what I did a debt snowball. And all that meant was I started I paid all my bills, make sure all of them was getting paid, and then I took one bill and I put extra money on it. And some people are going to tell you to do the highest interest rate, do the lowest interest rate. I say do something that you can pay it off and mark it off to where you have a victory. Like, yep, I don't have this bill anymore. It's done. So whatever that means to you, do it. You get that first victory and start the process. And all the snowball is after I paid off one, I took the money from that one and I paid it extra on the next one. And then I was paying extra on the third one, and that's how I did it. So that's up to you how you want to do it. So everyone has to do it their own way, whatever's comfortable for you. You don't need all these fancy programs, y'all. You just get a piece of paper, but you need to know where the money's going. So I think a lot of us don't understand, like, can you really say, like, right now, 100% where every penny goes? Like, can you show that? Like, can you do a budget on a piece of paper, get a pen and a pad, and put out your how much money you have coming into your household, and go down, spend it to every penny. If you can't do that, you might want to just try it out. Not try it, but actually do it. So it's just knowing. You don't want to. A lot of us are guessing, and so that's why we broke. We just get broke at the end of the month, and then we're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, and not pay this bill and pay that bill. Been there, done that. Can't tell me about broke. What you're going to have to do, so you're going to have to figure out your own plan and make it for you. You got to start, though. A lot of us don't want to look at our financial picture. It's like it's depressing at sometimes. Some people don't even want to go to the bank and look at the receipt when you leave the bank. Like, I don't need them problems. I don't want to look at that. So you can't get around it, for one. When you face it, that's just, I think it's the right thing to do is just face it and say, okay, this is where I am. It is what it is. The one thing I want people to stop doing is we have to stop being so much as a consumer. I'm going to tell you what happened. So my daughter picked this up as well, and I was like, oh, no, we're not doing that. She was buying something, and she said she would save X number of dollars if she bought this. And I said, no. You really just spent X number of dollars. And we tell ourselves that save thing because it makes us feel good. So when you see those sales 50% off, 60% off, that makes people feel good. That's a marketing technique. That's all it is. And we feel good. We save money. But no, you spent money. Just keep it, keep it how it is. You actually spent money. And I know some people, money just burns a hole in their pocket. They have to spend it when they get it. We're not taught to manage it. We're not taught to save it. We're not taught to invest it. We're not taught none of that stuff. And it goes on for generation to generation, and we just pass it down because money don't grow on trees. Remember that? My mom taught me that. But then I was like, hold on. Trees made of wood. Wood can make paper. Some of money is part of paper. So in all actuality, indirectly, money can grow on trees. That's just my thoughts. She didn't like that when I said that. But anyway, I didn't get popped. So some of the things I look at as far as, what we should have, everybody should have some type of insurance, family. And right now, like, oh my goodness, I know people that have died due to corona. Like, I know people, and who are literally doing, GoFundMes or what have you, but that insurance, y'all, is like a must. It should, be a part of your financial plan. And I would even go as far, insurance don't even cost that much, y'all. Insurance is not even that much. I think we look at it differently. And I would tell people, for an emergency fund, for insurance, for whatever, start selling stuff out your house, y'all. I think we just got too much stuff anyway. Laying around, we have garages with packed out. We have storage units packed out. We have rooms we haven't been in for years. We have stuff that it's just sitting around. And I think personally people have $500 to $1,000 right now. So that can be your emergency fund. You have $500 to $1,000 right now that you haven't touched yet. And you haven't touched it because you haven't sold nothing. Some people got 6 TVs and they got 3 people in their family. That's where we are. We're just that type. We're just there. That's your emergency fund right there. This is what I don't understand, and I'm trying to wrap my arms around it. So I see people on social media, and they be talking about high interest bonds and CDs and stuff like that. So for me, when I hear high interest in the bond world, the CD world, it's like 2.1, 2.3%. That's just what it is. And I'm like, they just put that word high in there. Like, what's high about that? Somebody help me. And the way I look at it is this. So if you look at inflation, and this is according to, you look up Consumer Price Index. They did a study. If your money is not earning at least 4.2% in returns, then how are you making money? It's just a question. If you're making 2.1%, inflation 4.2%, how are you making money, family? I don't get it. It's like we're working back. Your money is going backwards. I don't get that part. So I would ask you, do you have a plan? What type of plan that is? Who's looking at your plan? And have they done what you set out to do? That's the biggest things I can give you. Do you have a plan? Who's looking at your plan outside of you? And what have they done? And are they doing, big things? Like, you can't have somebody at work sitting next to you telling you, I'm going to show you how to get off this job, and they're still working the job. They have to already be off, family. That's just how I look at it. This is what I would say to everybody out there from a financial standpoint. Okay, how much money you make? Pay yourself first. And I don't know what you need to pay yourself. Some people say 10%. I say 15%. That's just me. And you got to talk to your financial person and kind of break down where you are. And when I say pay yourself, the money has to come out automatically, and you shouldn't be able to get to that account easily. That's just what I think. Because I'm the type of person, I'm not a saver. Whatever in the account I'm going to use type person. So I need it to come out of the account automatically to a bank I don't have really access to where I may have to go travel to the bank to even get money out. That's just the type of person I am, but I know who I am, and I know my strengths and my weaknesses. That's just who I am. So thing we don't do Warren Buffett was talking about taxes. He said, figure out a way to protect yourself on taxes, and if you don't, you'll never get to where you're going to be. I summed it up in short. But you got to find a way to protect your money from taxes. So what I say is speak to a qualified tax attorney. And, I know some of the ways out there, 401k, IRAs, 403bs. We got 529 plans. And what I did back in the day is I borrowed from my 401k. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you to do that. I am not telling you to borrow from your 401k. Only do this if you talk to your attorney, looked at the implications, looked at the fees, looked at, how can you be assessed and everything else. I looked at my fees. I was paying 3.5% in fees in my 401k. That's a little bit too much for me. And I will tell you that a lot of people are overpaying in fees that probably should be wiped away. And I would say go talk to the person that controls your 401k and let them break down your prospectus and look at everything and have them break the fees down, every single fee, so you know what you're paying and why. That's just me. It's going to hurt a lot of people in the long run, and I got that from some economists. It didn't come from me. Some economists was talking about 401ks and how the plans are not set up the way people think it's going to be set up. And they gave an example that let's say you're making 9% on your portfolio and you have 3.5% in fees, so you're going to get 5.5% back on your total, which you're thinking 9%, and now you got to try to recoup that money. And as we get older, we can't go back and make more money. Hope you understand that. Okay. The other thing is the side business. Need everybody to get a fat side business, but I need you to get that now. I don't know what you're good at. I don't know what you can do right now that you don't need any type of education for, but you should do that, learn it with the quickness, and actually understand how to monetize it. That's our biggest thing. You got to monetize it. The days of working for like the same company over and over for years, that's gone. That's been gone. You are expendable, family. I don't care how great you think you are. You are a number, and if you don't profit and the company's not making profits, they can let you go. You can't take your business with you. You can't pass it to your children. I'm just telling you. I know people love their jobs because I used to love my job too. Ballistic missile defense, saving the world, y'all. My job was bigger than me. But I couldn't take it with me. I couldn't pass it down. All right? So hope y'all got something out of that. It's this is y'all, we are in some unfamiliar territory. I don't know about being scared. I'd rather you get prepared. But we are in very unfamiliar territory. I'm out here. I'm still working, I was working from home anyway, so it doesn't really change a lot in how I do what I do, but that's crazy. Whew. This is what I'm going to do. So check this out, y'all. No, I'm not going to say this online. I can't do that. I would probably incriminate myself, and I'm doing a good thing, but I don't want to incriminate myself. And people say, no, you can't do that. But anyway, so I'm not going to do it. So this is what I'm going to do, y'all. I do want to thank Ms. Kimmy Robinson for giving me the platform with the Elation Radio to make moves. And I'm going to pray us out, but I do want to thank y'all for coming to Charles's Corner. I'm going to keep bringing up information that I do want y'all to go research for yourselves because, I'm just a vessel. I'm going to pass it, but you have to be able to understand it, and you have to be able to go get more information. I am Charles McCutchen. I'm a best-selling author. I have a nonprofit helping homeless veterans. I'm Mr. Real Estate, funded right now in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Casino out in California that I will get a piece of. Theme park in Texas, and about 9 other developments I'm going to be working on. I am not playing. This is not a game. This is just real-life stuff. I'm going to pray us out. Dear Father, we enter into your presence, and we ask that you touch us, dear Lord. Please give us the love and the confidence. Please help us to be the best version of ourselves, and I ask that you continue to move us along this journey. I pray for everybody's strength, everybody's unity, and everybody's empowerment. Dear Father, we know that everything happens in your time. We know that you're all-knowing, and we must believe in and trust in you, and trust that we manifest the destiny and the glory that you set forth in our lives, Father God. Ensure that we use up the territory you've given us. I pray for everybody to gain more strength. I pray for everybody to gain more wisdom so that we'll know without a doubt that joy comes in the morning. In your name I pray. Amen, amen, and amen. Y'all take it easy. I'm your favorite entrepreneur, Charles McCutchen.